Business Magazine. Maybe that's why we're looking for Puerto Rico to enter the union. They might be worse. We are leading the country in poverty. Think about that, the Golden State. You know, my mother went to Berkeley, and she got 2 master's degrees from Berkeley before she moved back to Chicago to have me. And she always talked about the Golden State as this wonderful state of opportunity. We had the best roads, we had the best schools, we had the best opportunities for our young people, right? Can anyone here say that's the case today? No, it's not. But I will tell you, we're going to make a big change to get back to that state in 2018.
Amen.
So what's happened to California? And this is part of the reason why I believe this campaign for governor will be successful. I'm not into this to just break a supermajority. I'm in this to take back this state.
That's right.
Make no mistake about it.
That's right.
But ask yourself, what's happened to this state over the last 30 years? And I'll tell you what's happened. This state has been captured by the moneymakers, by the special interests, by the people who use government for their own purposes. And it's got to stop. And why has that happened? It's because California has the largest legislative districts in the world. You're going to take a look at a brochure here for something called the Neighborhood Legislature. I'm going to talk very briefly about it, but let me tell you, the Neighborhood Legislature initiative, it's going to be on the ballot in 2018, the same day that I am. We already have 550,000 signatures. We're on our way to 800,000. We have to do that by the end of October. This will be on the ballot, and it will make national news because it will take away the power of the special interests. Right now, they control because the legislators up there all need their money, right? What do you need in order to win a race to 1 million people, which is what a state senate district has, right? You need a boatload of money, don't you? And all these special interests are all too happy to give you that money, right? As long as you do what they want. And that usually involves more taxes, more spending, more regulation. How many small business people are here today? Most people in this state work for a small business. Most people in the state have climbed out of poverty with a small business. That's me. I mean, I had nothing. I worked my way through college. I got my CPA certificate. I'm a CPA. I'll be the second CPA in the country as governor. Rick Snyder, by the way, of Michigan, is the only other CPA. And I worked my way through law school. I started my own small business. That's how you climb out of poverty. That's how you conquer inequality. You know, you hear the other party talk about the fact that we've got to do something about inequality, and all they're doing is pounding people into the lower classes. That's what they're doing every single day. I want to finish by telling you a few stories about my last week. I was in Los Angeles. I actually kidded my daughter. I said, I wonder if there's any way that I could run for governor without ever having set foot in Los Angeles. Actually, it's a wonderful city, but you just can't move around very well, right? But I was in Los Angeles. I want to tell you about Ibrahim, the Uber driver. I want to tell you about Trenton, the security guard. I want to tell you about Fernando, the train conductor. Because they all had the same story. Ibrahim came here from Egypt, looking for opportunity. 30 years ago, he's a citizen. And he's driving Uber now. Actually, that's his third job. Trenton is a security guard at KNBC. I went there. I was on Conan Nolan's show this morning. I don't know if anybody saw it. The news conference on KNBC. And I talked to Trenton at length because we got there a little early, and we talked about the affordability of housing. And then Fernando was the train conductor that I had taking Amtrak back down to San Diego from Los Angeles. And we talked about how tough it is to tell his kids that there's just not enough opportunity in this state and they may have to move. These are the stories of what I call the working poor. And maybe you have them here, and this is a wonderful community and we all have done really well and It's a great community, and listen, I'm very, very lucky with what I've been able to achieve in life. But I gotta tell you, what we've gotta have is we've gotta have a solid and productive middle class in the state. We can't have a group of elites on the ocean and everybody else grind into poverty. That's not going to give us a balanced economy. That's not going to give us a sustainable state. And it's the state legislature that's grinding these three people I told you about, as well as everybody else who's working in this state, into poverty. I don't know if you saw this last week. The state legislature passed a housing bond. Did you hear this? $9 billion of more debt on our shoulders, on the young people of this state, right? Mm-hmm. And what are they doing? They've already made housing so ridiculously expensive, right? It costs $150,000, $200,000 in fees and costs before you even turn a spade of dirt in this state.
Yeah, it is.
But they're going to give subsidies to a few people who happen to know politicians, right? That's what this $9 billion is all about handing out subsidies to people who vote for them. But what you don't know is that in the body of this bill is a provision that makes it a requirement to use prevailing wages to build the houses. So they're going to jack up the cost of the house for a few union members, who of course contribute mightily to their campaigns, am I right?
Yeah.
And they're going to do it on the backs of the people that can't afford the houses that are being built. Is this what's going to happen in a state to make it sustainable? Is this a long-term answer for California? It is absolutely not. The neighborhood legislature is the tool under which we're going to clean out the barn in Sacramento. But I want to tell you, I can't do it by myself. I'm making my way around the state. I have 47 events like this already on the drawing boards between now and the end of October. I've got people coming out of the woodwork who want to help get this done because they know this state is unsustainable. They know that we're heading towards bankruptcy with a pension debt of over $1.2 trillion. They know that this government and this budget is totally padded with incredible waste. Do you know that Texas spends 4.5 times what we do to build a mile of road? Do you think roads, asphalt, cost that much more here than in Texas?
No.
They don't. It's because of feather bedding, it's because of corruption, it's because of waste. I'm a CPA. I can't wait to take a hatchet to this budget. And in doing so, we're going to disturb a few of those people who are patting themselves at your expense.